Jeff Hoogland. He is up a game on Craig Bargo. Let's get creatures on both sides. It's Kiki Cord on Jeff's side and Obzon Company on Craig Bargo's side. So to bring you up to speed, Jeff Hoogland is at 16, currently up a game with Scavenging Ooze and Voice of Resurgence in play. On Craig's side, he's at a perfect 20. He has Voice of Resurgence, Kitchen Finks, Anafenza, Kintree Spirit, and Noble Hierarch. He's a sacrifice outlet away from the Infinite Life combo.
And the Infinite Life combo is the step to find the red cap for the Infinite Damage combo.
Now,
assuming it's Viscera Seer.
So, Infinite Life doesn't actually win against Jeff because Jeff has an Infinite Damage combo on his side.
Exactly.
So, well, I guess if it's still sitting in play for Craig, it does. It's interesting when you get these combos going back and forth.
Right. Once Jeff locks in his attack with his Restoration Angels,
Craig can go gain more life.
Exactly.
But if the combo's no longer on the table, then Jeff can make enough to answer it. I don't know, we'll see it play out. On Jeff's side, it's going to be, this is a card he's been a huge fan of. It's a Nahiri.
I thought this was the modern portion of the tournament.
Right. So Jeff 3-1ing today in Standard with Mardu control based on Nahiri the Harbinger. He's going to play the card in Modern as well. This one's really interesting in his Kiki Core deck. He has 2 copies of it today. +2, discard a card. If you do, you draw a card. -2, it exiles an enchantment, an artifact, or a tapped creature. None of those seem like they're going to be happening this game, unless Jeff taps something.
Attention Magic players.
So the Kitchen Finks actually was tapped. So he actually scores a big removal off the Kitchen Finks there.
Okay.
That takes away one of the combo pieces for Craig.
Yeah, pluck away persist creatures. If that Voice of Resurgence finds itself tapped and the Nahiri's hanging out, you can exile that as well.
Craig should have played around the Nahiri. No, end step, Craig is going to Gavany Township to pump his creatures up. And now we'll see what his play is. He's going to have... If this just becomes a fair creatures matchup, creatures fighting creatures, no combo shenanigans, Jeff's board looks significantly stronger. He's got Scavenging Ooze and Voice of Resurgence, which both figure to be bigger than the biggest creatures in town given enough time.
Well, Gavany Township, given enough time, gets to make a bigger town, so to speak.
Maybe he's going to go to a different town.
Right.
The town in Gavany, they're not the biggest.
They're expanding in Gavany currently. Also, the Birds of Paradise coming into play this turn will be able to fly over what Jeff has hanging out.
An attack with the team from Craig is going to take care of Nahiri. All the creatures were attacking her. And I'm interested, Jeff not making any blocks here.
Well, his creatures don't match up well against the creatures that are attacking him right now. He could make a double block.
Yeah, he could make a double block. That Voice of Resurgence, it would be interesting to see when he decides to cash it for an elemental token. Not yet is the answer. He'll fetch down to 15 for Stomping Ground on end step.
I think the bigger story was how much respect that Craig was actually showing to Nahiri.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of times when people play these cards that seem to be oddball cards, you don't give them enough respect and they can beat you, but Craig not doing that at all.
That card's got a lot of text. I'm just going to deal with that now.
Birds of Paradise, the play for Jeff. You see Chord of Calling in hand. So you have to be mindful of a possible combo out of Jeff's side.
Yeah, he's always able to just go into end step Restoration Angel and to untap and comboing you.
Restoration Angel and Kiki Jiki, that is the combo. Now, when you look at just playing from the ground up, one thing is that Jeff's deck does not actually feature any copies of Gavany Township.
Right. With this 4-color mana base, it's really difficult to support those colorless lands, so that is a concession that the deck has to make just by a function of its mana.
So Jeff's going to convoke out a Chord of Calling. It looks like he's eyeing an Eternal Witness. So, and this is how he can actually combo off one Chord. So Chord gets Eternal Witness gets back Chord. Chord gets Restoration Angel blinks Eternal Witness, gets back Chord. Chord gets Kiki Jiki, wins game.
Right.
So there is a line in Jeff's deck just to win off one Chord of Calling, which my guess is what he's going for here.
Right. And with Bargo not being able to interact on the stack, this is something he has to be very concerned with.
Exactly. Now, he's got a lot of power in play. Maybe he can kill Jeff before all the pieces come together. I mean, for Jeff to do this combo, he cannot block with Eternal Witness, for example. If it hits the graveyard, there's nothing for the Restoration Angel to flicker.
This is a sideboard game, so Bargo could have some Path to Exiles coming off the top of his library that could help fight this.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Jeff has the luxury to play around removal as he attempts to set up the combo.
Right.
So here's an all-out swing from Craig. You see Jeff, Voice of Resurgence blocks. Yeah, looks like he's going to take some damage. We'll see whether Craig's creatures go to Gavony again.
Has enough mana to activate Township and represent Path to Exile from this point, so it's just a question of whether or not he has a better spell to be casting.
And Jeff will untap with 4 creatures and 6 lands. So that's 10 mana sources. So the first card is for 7, gets Restoration Angel, untaps the Eternal Witness. So that's a +2, goes to 5. He's still 3 short, I believe, of doing it all in one turn. Could have a land drop. He doesn't have enough. It's close.
I'm going to trust you on that one.
That's misplaced. We'll trust. I will trust Jeff on this one. He goes to 3 on the attack, so he needs the combo this turn. Yeah. So you look. Okay, he has 11 permanents in play. So if you try to convoke for Restoration Angel, that will take him tap 7 of his permanents. Now let's assume he taps Eternal Witness, right? So he'll have 4 untapped permanents. The Restoration will come into play. That'll be an untapped permanent number 5. It'll untap the Eternal Witness. That'll be number 6. We can only chord for 3 here. We can't chord for 5, so we can't get Kiki Jiki yet.
Right.
You see Jeff has to just pass the turn.
Yeah, and Jeff doesn't have access to combos with more efficient creatures.
Yeah, so what he can do here, and this is what I think he's going to go toward, is chump block everything. Before damage, convoking Restoration Angel, blinking Eternal Witness, getting Kiki Jiki, or getting the chord back, and then hope it works next turn.
Right. Immediately reaching for his blockers.
Yeah, couldn't do this one quicker. Everything needs to be blocked because it's all lethal. Jeff's at 3, so Craig swings out the team. And Jeff, with 7 lands in play, does have enough mana to exit. He does have the combo. This works if Craig has nothing.
Right.
So before damage, he's going to convoke. You see all 4 of the creatures tapping to convoke. This is going to be for Restoration Angel. You see tapping 3 lands, so that's X equals 4.
A sideboard card
X
that
equals 5, it looks like here, maybe.
Bargo has 1 sideboard, even Mind Sensor. If you could flash that in here, that could be huge.
Yeah, it's just for 4. Jeff fixing the overtap. Yeah, Voice of Resurgence, Elemental Token for Craig. Yeah, that's fine. Jeff is playing a spell on Craig's turn. So we'll see if Bargo has a response. This, if Craig has no removal, this is a win for Hoogland. His way out in this match is he has to combo through.
I think Bargo might have a collected or a Court of Calling in hand. He could be thinking about finding that Mind Sensor.
If he has a Court of Calling, then you have to ask if he has a Fiend Hunter style effect. He does have a copy of Fiend Hunter or Murderous Redcap. Both would work. So here's Restoration Angel. That's what Jeff's going to find. Now, Restoration Angel's trigger is going to target Eternal Witness. This is the window that Craig would play one of his cards.
Right, we see him fetching here. He's up to something.
Yeah. Mind Sensor is okay to get, but there's a chance that Restoration, that all the cards are still in Jeff's top 4. I know it's unlikely, but...
I just wanted to see the flashy play.
Yeah, that one could miss. It probably doesn't. Just killing the Eternal Witness with this target on the stack, that one's the sure bet.
Right. If you want to go for the sure thing.
Yeah, if you want to be boring.
Let's make it interesting.
And here we go. It is chord for 3 in response to the Restoration Angel. This could be a number of things that work well. Orzhov Pontiff would work here.
Yeah,
Fiend Hunter would work.
I assume that's the play.
And it is the Fiend Hunter. And Jeff is going to fetch in response. So Fiend Hunter's on the Fiend Hunter's ability is now on the stack. I believe he's trying to exile the Eternal Witness.
It's somewhat interesting to find the Hunter over the red cap. I suppose. Well,
That's
well, no.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know, because the Fiend Hunter in play, if Jeff has a way to remove that, then he just gets the card back.
Right. If Pontiff's still in the deck, that seems safer. Red Cap seems safer.
Yeah, Jeff's access to the graveyard would be more Eternal Witness, which would just find the cord for the combo. He does have Revel Arc. I don't know what the mana situation on using that one is.
If Pontiff was in Craig's deck, he could have also just Pontiffed before attacks here.
Right.
So the Fiend Hunter trigger. So Jeff, we'll see if it resolves. All right, Fiend Hunter trigger resolves. Eternal Witness is exiled, so that the Restoration Angel was trying to flicker the Eternal Witness, so that will get countered. Now then, we still haven't had combat damage happen yet. And now, see just what Jeff has here. Looks like all the creatures will hit the bin. Go back over to Hoogland's side. He just has to draw Kiki Jiki now, naturally.
Yeah, looks like he
doesn't do it.
Birds of Paradise. Not quite what the doctor ordered.
But interestingly enough, that still does leave. Yeah, I guess I don't know if there's a way for Craig to sequence that without giving Jeff the one outer of drawing Kiki Jiki. He could Pontiff before combat, and then the attack might be lethal. Hard to say, but either way, we're going to go to game 3 here. There are a lot of this is why I don't play 25 creatures, okay? There's just too many decisions.
Right, definitely. You give me a deck with lightning bolts.
I like it when my decks, they do one thing and they do it real well, and I just do it every game. There's so many.
Not one of these decks that
when everyone's deck is full of tutors, it's really hard to play right.
Yeah, it's not just playing this turn. You have to play 3 turns out with tutoring every turn. Just give me Ancestral Vision. I'll work with what's in my hand. All 8 of them.
All right. Well, for Jeff Hoogland, the #1 player on the leaderboard from Bloomington, Illinois, 13 Open Series top 8s and an Invitational top 8. He has all but locked up his spot in the Players' Championship, currently pacing the field by over 23 points. He has top 8'd every Modern Open this year in the season. That's all 3. Did not win any of them, but established a huge number of points by doing that with his signature deck, Kiki Cord, as you see here. Even made a top 4 finish during Eldrazi Winter in Louisville. To me, that was his most impressive tournament.
Absolutely. And for a player with a resume as impressive as Jeff's, he's still looking for a win. A win here in the best attended invitational in the SCG Tour history, that'd be huge.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Right now, he's doing well in the field. You see his 5-2 start, looking for 6-2. He is on pace.
Yeah.
A win here would be big. I think he'd love to enter day 2 at 6-2 and not 5-3.
Yeah, he really needs to shear this event from here, as it were.
Well, he's got one to give. He's got right.
Hoping not to do it here.
That much is true. We are back for game 3. This is our last game of the evening. Jeff Hoogland and Craig Bargo playing for that 6th win. And we are underway. Jeff's going to start out on the play for game number 3. He starts with a Birds of Paradise. And this is something, I want to point out something with Jeff's deck here. And this happens with players who love their one-ofs decks. I remember watching Jerry Thompson, who used to play Mystical Teachings. Eventually, he loved so many of the one-ofs that his deck grew to 61, 62, 63. The number just kept going up. Jeff's all the way up to 63 lands now, in his 63 cards rather in his Kiki Cord deck.
Now, you're the statistician.
Stop it. That's what I say. I say stop it.
Okay. So I don't even have to ask the question about the turn 1 Birds of Paradise deck with 63 cards? Okay.
Well, you have to think that these one-ofs you're putting in you're losing equity on your turn 1 birds, you're losing equity on Court of Calling, on some really important cards every time you do this. Like, is that main deck Kataki's War's Wage better than, is it worth all that percentage?
We got the 63 cards and there's still no township too.
Right, now I better put in more lands. Okay. Birds of Paradise matched on Craig's side. For Craig, it was a turn 2 Kitchen Finks, with Jeff immediately pathed to exile. Not very concerned about giving Craig extra lands here.
Yeah, just concerned about getting comboed.
That'll be good. There's a lot of beats on that side. One thing is that you see the Orza Pontiff from Jeff to kill Craig's Birds of Paradise.
Stone Rain.
The damage, now correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't think Jeff's going to deal 20 damage by attacking. I don't think that's really in the range of his deck. I do think that's in the range of Craig's deck.
Yeah. Kitchen Finks is quite good at just beating down, among about 100 other things that Kitchen Finks does well.
Right, though when I've watched the Jeff's Kiki card deck, I frequently don't see him, he wins by combo or not at all.
And once he gets Restoration Angel in play, it's kind of trivial to find the Kiki Jiki before he's able to even deal lethal damage.
Well, let's reload the combo on Craig's side. 4th land into play. Plays Viscera Seer and Kitchen Finks. That's 2 pieces. If you can find a Malira or an Anafenza Kintry Spirit, that is the Infinite Life combo. And Jeff having none of it. Here's another Path to Exile on Kitchen Finks.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Oh, this was okay. There wasn't a misplay. This was in response to Viscera Seer. Now,
so it might have been bad sequencing on Bargo's part.
Yeah, so I think if Bargo went to play on Path to Exile, what you're saying is he should play Viscera Seer first.
Right, get the Sacrifice Outlet in play first.
So then when Jeff goes for the Path, you get to sacrifice the Kitchen Finks to Seer, scry
or
one.
Force him to use it on the Seer. With the Finks is just better in play.
Well, I suppose if Bargo has a 3rd Kitchen Finks in hand, then they sequence this correctly.
Yeah.
But let's give him the credit. Maybe that's going on.
It's also true that if your combo piece is Malira, you have to be able to persist the Kitchen Finks back. You need to get it back.
Yeah, Anafenza can get around that actually, but
Right.
Malira is no good at it.
Yeah,
Anafenza's just playing another creature.
you just bolster it back up, so Malira's not good enough.
Jeff plays land and go. Back over to Craig. He's going to reload. He plays Birds of Paradise, and then is going to attack with Viscera Seer. No, he's convoking with Viscera Seer, I believe.
No,
he's
where's the
attacking
beatdown
and
deck? Where's the
downshipping.
beatdown deck? Here comes Izumaru.
All right. Court of Calling from Jeff. I don't think he cares.
I think there's a
Here's
block
Eternal
coming.
Witness getting back Court of Calling. So he's setting up that 1 chord line again to get the combo. Now, of note, in Craig's hand, he has a copy of Murderous Redcap. So maybe he did want the Viscera Seer more than he wants the Kitchen Finks. Redcap, that'll win with the 3rd combo piece.
Indeed. So, Jeff looking better positioned to set up his own combo here.
His draw for the turn was a copy of Lightning Helix. That's out of his sideboard. It's a 3 of.
And that'll put Bargo even further away from comboing.
Exactly. I really like the card here. Jeff's just buying time as this 1 Court of Calling gets him the whole combo.
Yeah, he's also just on pace to combo very early himself.
Here is Court of Calling. It looks like for 5. Is this just the Kiki Jiki? I'd be a little surprised to see Kiki come out this early. Yeah, it is. Here's the Mirror Breaker. It's not lethal yet, but it's good. He's going to copy Eternal Witness, and the 2-1 copy will get back Court of Calling. So is there an advantage to... It's interesting. He's exposing the creature here, which I was surprised to see Jeff do.
Right. Now with Chord, unless the Kiki Jiki is hit by Path to Exile, he can Chord for Revel Arc, and that can inevitably buy back the Kiki Jiki.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's really good. This was all during... This is during Jeff's own end step that he made the 2-1, by the way. Just a detail here, that means it's going to live through Craig's turn.
The fear here is that Craig uses a Path to Exile on the Kiki Jiki.
And Jeff only does play 1 Kiki Jiki, so that would take away permanently his ability to combo. He'd have to win with, damage.
Gross.
Gross. I don't want to do that.
Not in my deck with 1/1/0/1s and 2/1s.
I will say of all these creature decks, I like Jeff's the most in that it is most dedicated to being a combo deck.
Yeah.
That's how he wins. I appreciate that.
The Eternal Witnesses really stand out in Jeff's deck versus other builds of similar decks. The ability to just keep going. 4 Eternal Witness, not messing around.
Back over to Bargo. Here's Murderous Redcap. 2 damage is going to shoot Kiki off the board. And you mentioned before, Revel Arc can get that back, so it's not gone for good yet.
Right, this isn't the end.
Here comes Birds of Paradise. No sense attacking on the ground, not with that 2-1 Eternal Witness in play. And Voice of Resurgence is the follow-up for Bargo. Jeff untapping quickly. Watching him enough, when he's moving with that kind of speed, it means Jeff believes he's ahead. That's how I've noticed that about. That's how he plays that way for sure.
Yeah, some players definitely wear their heart on their sleeves more than others, and Jeff is certainly one of them.
When he's winning, he's playing fast, and then when Stormy Waters hits, he slows down.
Yeah, that's when you pump the brakes.
4 minutes remaining in the round. Worth keeping note of. Now, Jeff having Lightning Helix and Court of Calling as his 2 remaining cards. The Lightning Helix can be blanked by Viscera Seer.
It very well might be the target for Lightning Helix, in fact.
Sure. And that will be. Lightning Helix goes at the 2/2 vampire. Well, not much. I think Craig can decide if he wants to sacrifice something else in response.
Yeah, see if we want to get some extra scry triggers. Maybe turn our Voice of Resurgence into a temporary 4/4, then a 3/3.
So what I like about this is that Jeff's deck still has so many lines available with that one Court of Calling. He can get a Restoration Angel with it. He can get if there's a temptation for Craig to sacrifice the red cap to shoot down Eternal Witness, but then Jeff will just get Revel Arc.
Right. And then the Revel Arc gets back Kiki Jiki, Eternal Witness gets back everything.
Yeah, then everybody out of the pool into the battlefield. The pool is the graveyard. Keep in mind. See,
the pool is the graveyard?
That's how that analogy works.
I am never going swimming with you.
Yeah, it's not a nice pool. So we are held right now. There's a Lightning Helix on the stack targeting Viscera Seer. For sure, before this resolves, Craig, he sacrificed Voice of Resurgence to scry one, keeping that card on top. Now Seer will sacrifice to itself so that Jeff doesn't get any life gain. Keep in mind, Jeff's at 10 here. And what sort of top card did Craig keep? We will see. Court of Calling would be the gold standard here, I think.
Did he just scry to the top and then slow roll himself?
I think that may have happened.
Takes all kinds.
I was a little surprised because the Gavany Township in place. The Eternal Witness is the play by Craig. Getting back, well, we'll see. I kind of expected Craig to sacrifice the Murderous Red Cap to Viscera Seer to shoot down, I don't know, Birds of Paradise, and then next turn Township the Red Cap back to a 2/2.
Yeah, that would have been a play that would have been pretty good. It's relatively free to make as well. Jeff does have Restoration Angel mana hanging out, but even still.
Might be a trip to beat downtown right now. Craig is going for the life total. Eternal Witness was the card he had on top, and he's going to play it, getting back. He could have gotten a combo piece, or maybe, but instead he just gets back Voice of Resurgence.
Committing to beating down.
Yeah. We do have to note the timer clock has been updated here. They actually have a little over 9 minutes remaining.
Okay.
There wasn't an extension granted to the match, so this is accurate as it stands.
I think that should be more than enough time for this match to finish.
Yeah, either Jeff's going to get beaten up by creatures or he's going to combo out Craig. And that seems to be actually the dynamic every game.
Or Craig could combo him yet. That's not completely out of the question.
Well, I'm not sure that... Well, so here's what happens. There's a swing with the Elemental. Jeff is going to cast Court of Calling, getting Restoration Angel, flickering the Eternal Witness, getting back Kiki Jiki. And then he's going to try to combo, and that'll do it. So game and match for Jeff Hoogland. And this shows the complexity of the deck. This was the line Jeff just did to win there was on the board. And I think Craig may have just missed it.
Right.